Hola amigos, Daniela here from Through the Looking Glass. Welcome back, welcome to my channel if you're new here. In this channel, I talk about my life with chronic illnesses. Today is International Day of Fibromyalgia, May 12th. So I want to do a special edition where I share with you 10 tips to deal with fibromyalgia. So let's get started. First, find a doctor who believes in fibromyalgia. I cannot stress that enough. It's an endless search, and I know it's influenced by where you live, but keep trying. My family doctor is great, super understanding. She believes in me. She tries to help me, but she's not a specialist in fibromyalgia. There is only so much they can do. We're often referred to rheumatologists, but my own experience with rheumatologists is as soon as you don't get those positive results for arthritis, they dump you. They don't want anything to do with you. They literally have told me, there's nothing I can do for you. It's really hard to get somebody who's specialized in fibromyalgia, and then you're left with no specialist. You're left with trial and error and trying things for yourself. So really having a doctor who believes in fibromyalgia and preferably getting someone who is a specialist in fibromyalgia is your best chance to finding some sort of management treatment that is going to help you. Second is accept that you have limitations and make peace with it. Mindset is the most powerful tool that we have. It can change everything. There is a say, if you can't change a situation, change how you look at it, because that is the only power that you hold, is how you see something. So if you cannot change your pain, if you cannot change what your body is doing, you can 100% change how you respond to it. Third, surround yourself with supportive people. There's only one thing that is worse than having a chronic illness, is to have a chronic illness and have no support. So surrounding yourself with people that believe in you, understand you, support you, don't judge you is really important. Number 4, have a management plan. If this is a brand new diagnosis for you, you may not know what works and what doesn't work yet. But I've had fibromyalgia for 30 years, so by now I kind of figured out what works and what doesn't work for me. Only you know what your body needs to function at its best. Some examples of a maintenance plan would be sleep hygiene, diet, movement, could be medications, stress management, all those different things that you do on a regular basis to make sure that your body is functioning at its best. It is important to figure out what your triggers are. Some triggers are common to fibromyalgia, others may be unique to you. The best way to identify what your triggers are is to keep track of them. You can keep it in a form of a journal, lists, but there are many apps out there that are actually pretty good at helping you keep track of everything that's going on. You input your symptoms, and then you can put in any other variables as well, such as what was the weather, did you take any medications, what was your stress level like, did you do any activities, how much sleep you got, all those different things that can influence and that can be triggers. So you input all that into the app and it actually generates a chart that you can see the fluctuations, and then you can analyze and see if there is any sort of correlation and try to find patterns. Once you know what your triggers are, then try to avoid those. Number 5 is prepare for flares. The hardest thing about flares is that they are unpredictable. They can really knock you down, especially after you've been through a period where you're better, that you've been feeling well, and you almost start to live life like as a normal person, and then a flare comes and you are really unprepared for that. So what I do is basically I live my life always expecting a flare. Any plans I make, I always have a backup plan. I always prepare myself mentally that I may not be able to attend something, I may not be able to go. I often, when I make camping reservations, I will book like 2 consecutive weekends for a particular campground, because if I have a flare that weekend, maybe then there is a chance that next weekend I'm gonna be better. So I always try to have like options. If I book hotels or travel, I try to always have sort of insurance where you can cancel or change dates. And also ultimately accepting that sometimes you're not going to be able to go, you're not going to be able to do it, and just having patience with yourself and knowing that it does passes. No flare, at least to me, has ever lasted forever. It's pretty much up and down, up and down. I have better days and then I have worse days. Next, number 6 is self-care. I know this word self-care is thrown a lot out there, and there is a big association with self-care being having a bath, going for a massage, putting a face mask on. But I believe that self-care can come in many forms and shapes. It doesn't have to be one fit all. Each person knows what they need to make sure that they are well mentally and then their bodies are also rested. One of the things for me that is super important for self-care is being in touch with nature. It really recharges me. So you need to figure out what is it that works for you. What is self-care to you? And don't feel pressure to think that, oh, I just got my nails done and that was self-care and I put a face mask on, and that doesn't really do it for you. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't do those things. It's nice to groom yourself and take care of yourself, but it may not recharge you and refill your cup. There's a say, you can't give from an empty cup. So unless you're filling up your cup, you're not going to be any good to anybody. Put yourself first. Do your self-care. Number 7, move your body. Do I dare say exercise? No, let's just say move your body. That boost of energy that people say is like, oh, I hate doing exercise, but I feel so good after. No, I feel like crap. But movement is different for me. The more still I stay, the more my joints hurt, the more stiff I get. So moving my body gently, it's actually quite important. The worst of my pain is in the morning, and I think it's because I just been laying in bed and somewhat in the same position for a prolonged period of time. And I'm just laying there and I'm in so much pain. And I know I need to move. I know if I move, it's going to get better. But it's so hard because it just hurts so much. And to push yourself through that initial pain to then get better, it can be super hard. So I hate mornings. Like every day is the same thing. I'm battling the same battle every morning. It's just move, just get out of bed. Number 8, don't be afraid to have your comfort items with you or your medications with you or things that you need to feel better. I have a lot of back pain, and sitting, let's say, in a car for a long period of time is very painful for me. Sitting in a chair for a long period of time is painful. I can get migraines unannounced. Flares can just get worse through the day. So I always have my medications with me. I always have painkillers, nausea medication, and allergy medications, because those 3 are the ones that really hit me out of nowhere. But I also have a pillow, like a travel pillow that I put in my back. I'll have a blanket because I get cold very easily, but I also get hot very easily, so I tend to dress in layers so that I can take off layers. I also bring a collapsible stool with me because I can't stand for any period of time. Once because I have POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, meaning your heart rate goes up whenever you stand, and I get dizzy and I get chest pains and shortness of breath, but also because I just get really exhausted. And so don't be afraid or embarrassed that you need those things. I'm an overpacker. If you would like to see, I have a video up here. I have a link for a pack with me video, and I show all the things that I bring for a plane travel. I tend to bring everything that I think I can possibly need to increase my comfort. Number 9. avoid eating or drinking inflammatory foods. Fibromyalgia is a very inflammatory based disease. When you expose your body to certain foods and certain environment toxins, it can really speed up that inflammation process. This is not a video that I'm going to go into details about all the different foods and different environment things that can actually contribute to symptoms. If you're interested, let me know in the comments below and I will make a dedicated video for that. Number 10, last but not least, don't overdo it on good days. I am so guilty of that because I'm so often not feeling well enough and with low energy that things tend to accumulate. And then when I get a good day, I feel like I have to get done as much as possible to try to catch up, because if I don't get it done in a good day, the hell I'm not going to do it on a bad day. So you tend to overdo it, and then that is 100% a recipe to triggering a flare the next day. But listen, for your own good, try to pace yourself. I know, it is so hard. I'm saying this to you as much as I'm saying this to me. I know I'm going to be listening this over and over when I'm editing this video, so it's a perfect way for me to hear it over and over. But do yourself a favor. Don't overdo it. Don't do it. It's not worth it because it is only going to trigger a worse and longer flare the next day. So this is it for today's video. Those were my 10 tips to how to manage and deal with fibromyalgia. I hope you can take something out of this. It may not work for everybody, it may not suit everybody, but take and pick what works for you. That's it for now. Ciao e até a próxima!